Well, I've been all over this wide world when I didn't have the care. I saw the hills of Appalachia and a Rocky Mountain bear. Down under I sang my songs far from the hills of Clare. There's only one place that I love, won't you take me there? I'm coming home, I'm coming home to be with you. I'm coming home to see your smile and to take your hand and to walk with you through the barren land. I remember those Kinvara nights on the boats in Galway Bay, and the falling leaves in Cool Park down Kiltartan Way, the sacred tower at Kilmacdoon where we stopped to pray, and by the silver stream in Ballylee we'd read his poems all day. I'm coming home, I'm coming home to be with you. I'm coming home to see your smile and to take your hand and to walk with you through the barren land. Just a dream, 'cause I'm so far from there. 3,000 miles between us and Gord's Market Square. It's 30 years since I've seen the lovely Otley Hills, but the sunset over Mullaghmore I remember still. I'm coming home, I'm coming home to be with you. I'm coming home to see your smile and to take your hand and to walk with you through the barren land and to walk with you through the barren land and to walk with you through the barren land.
Well, you're nothing but a bloody bitch! Well, if there's a cracked cow in Ireland, I'd love to meet her. Honest to God, I must have built this wall 10 times already. 'Tis the bloody harsh way you should be. Oh, next thing I'll have that crack joke Delia Lennon down here saying that you broke in and ate her daffodils. Would you think I'd give a curse about her daffodils? When you can eat the whole bloody lot of them. Or rub your backside up again her front door as far as I'm concerned. Jeez, no. Anna, don't do that. Or she'll have me paint the whole house for her. 'Twas true what Nedwall said about her. You could bring her to Dublin on a silk thread, but you wouldn't move her 2 inches with a crowbar. Oh jeez, I'll have my back broke because he... Isn't it bad enough you have me talking to myself and building walls after you? Well, I've a good mind to send you to the factory Monday morning. You'll do no more running when they make glue out of your hooves.
Hello, how are you?
How would I be? From the skin coming off my hands. building walls after the crackish cows in Ireland. Did you see any strays coming up the road?
No.
I knew it. They gone the back road to Delia Lennon's daffodils again. Is there no peace for me at all?
Sorry. I didn't know cows were that fond of daffodils.
I'm sure there's damn all else for them to eat. All this place is good for is growing stones. Cromwell wasn't half wrong. I hope now you're not another one of those smart-ass Dublin jacks. Down here to take a look at one of the last few West of Ireland bachelors before we all die off.
No. Far from it.
Well, if I meet another Ancho coming up here looking for directions to Father Ted's house, I'll go cracked. Mickey Keller's the right idea. He sends them all off abroad there to the Aran Islands. I suppose you parked your big old Land Rover down the road.
No. There's only a small car. I hired it in Shannon. I'm going as far as Gort.
Jesus, that's a queer detour. Well, I hope you're not lost. Well, I had a fella coming up here to me last week looking for directions. Where to, I asked him. Well, he said he didn't really mind. That he was trying to find himself on some form of an old spiritual mission. Have you ever heard such shite? I told him to go abroad there to Kinvara and have a feed and drink for himself. And he might find himself if he didn't fall into the sea first. Every other week there's someone coming up here looking for the wind and the rain to make them feel better. I don't know what's going on at all. Here, will you give me a hand with this, will you?
No bother.
Come in.
No bother.
Thanks for that.
Alright.
Do you be around this place much?
I used to know it well.
Used to?
Yeah. 'Tis nearly 30 years since I was here last.
You were away so?
I was.
To England?
A lot further than that.
Jeez, I was in England myself during the 80s. An awful place. I couldn't wait to get back out of it. But I often think, was it the worst mistake I ever made? Coming home.
Sure, you couldn't be in a nicer spot.
Oh yeah, out here in the middle of the burn. Misted for 3 months and raining for the other 9. Sure, if it had only snowed during the winter, we get a bit of exercise. We could build a ski resort above there in Mullaghmore. But I suppose the old Jacks would object to that as well.
Have you no company?
Company? The only company I have is that old crack bitch Delia Lennon up the road, and sure, she wouldn't give me a drop of water if I was dying in the cross like our Lord. Well, she's above there looking. There for the last 20 years since that old fadog of a husband of hers died. Above there looking. Looking after everyone else's business but her own. Jesus, she would spot a midge going out the sky like, God bless her. She's there now trying to be milking a few cows and feeding a few old pigs. Well, she's a big, fine, strong man down the road. Well able to keep her warm at night. But other than that, sure, I couldn't convince any woman to leave the urban comforts of Kinvara to come out here in the fresh air with me.
Must be lonesome so.
How it is. But sure, you can't go anywhere now for the few pints. There's those lads in Dublin making laws. You swear we're some kind of madmen. And they're trying to stop us from breaking out and contaminating the rest of the country.
You don't know me?
Should I?
Maybe yes. Maybe no.
By God, you're the funny man.
Do you remember 89?
What about it?
It was a famous year.
Did you knock the Berlin Wall or something?
No. No, Pat.
How did you know my name?
After all the years you trained me. I'm Michael.
Jesus, Mikey. Mikey Horton. Is it you? We all thought that you were dead.
I was dead to the world, all right.
Jesus, Mikey. We didn't know. Nobody knew while you took off a few months after the final.
It was a case of running away, I suppose.
From what?
Everton. We were young. Too young.
You could have stayed and stuck it out.
How could I stay after the crash? One lad in a wheelchair, and poor Johnny, killed. All my fault. All over a bloody match.
She stayed. She got stuck here as well.
Did you ever see her?
And of course I do. She opened her tummy with that Yo Coonahan.
Who is he?
Or a bloody auctioneer from over that side. One of the biggest crooks in Ireland. And you think she'd wait for you forever? And what are you doing back now anyway? Oh, you didn't come home for your father's funeral?
I was in Australia.
Running away.
I suppose.
And what is he back now?
I got word from a priest in London that the mother was poorly.
You should have stayed and stuck by the two of them.
What? What do you mean, Pat?
Mary and the child that you left her with.
What? What are you saying, Pat?
There they go again, the bastards. You stay there and turn down the gate when they come back down.
Pat! Pat! Come back, will you?
Don't leave that gate! Did you see them? Hey! Did you see them, I asked?
Sorry, what did you say?
Did you see them? Are you deaf or what?
Sorry, I was just thinking.
About?
Sorry?
What were you thinking about?
Nothing.
More of it. The amount of people coming up here to think. 'Tis ridiculous. Thinking about what? Thinking about finding themselves. When all I want to do is find my bloody cattle. Oh, the next thing now you'll be saying, I'm looking for answers.
I suppose I am.
Well, this isn't bloody India, you know. Well, jeez, if I starve myself half to death, put white stuff in my face and grew a longer beard and threw an old sheet over myself and I called myself a he-man, I'd make a bloody fortune.
Shaman.
What? He-man?
It's Shaman, them wise men in India you're talking about.
Huh. And I suppose you were there too?
I was.
Looking for yourself.
Yes. India, South America, America, Canada. Yes, lots of places. Lots and lots of places. And each and every one of them finished up looking in at the end of a bloody battle. Will that answer your questions for you?
Oh, you don't have to answer my questions at all. I'd say you've plenty of your own questions to be answering. And the only question I have now is where's my bloody cattle?
Did you ever see her?
Who?
Mary.
Seldom.
Is she happy?
I'm not sure what's happy. Some people coming up here in the wilderness thinks this makes them the happiest people in the world. Oh, the lads you couldn't keep happy with all the tea in China. Happiness is making the best of what you have. But there's no point in looking back in 20 years and regretting some of the stuff that you did. The only regret is not taking the opportunities that present themselves in the next 20 years. But sure, isn't that what real happiness is?
Are you sure you weren't in India?
I sure who'd listen to an old fool like me?
Have you regrets?
What could it? But I've dreams too.
Of what?
Sure, I could win the lotto. And I'd drive up there in my brand new Mercedes-Benz to deal you, and whip her off her feet for the week or two.
To the Bahamas?
Jesus, no. Wouldn't Salt Hill be fine? As long as he wouldn't meet the cattle on the road.
Oh, God, yes.
What are all those faraway places like anyway?
Yeah, sure, they're all different. I worked in Australia too for a few years. Oh, beautiful country. Oh, the heat. Something savage. Up to nearly 50 degrees at times.
Jeez, it's different to here.
The reddest earth you ever saw. Sometimes like a vision of hell.
Would there be any chinky lads up there?
Oh, and hard working, all of them. I worked in Canada too for 5 years. Oh, beautiful country. Should to snow for 5 months of the year.
Better than 9 months of rain.
I don't know. There was many a day I'd love to feel the soft dew on my face.
Aye. And that Atlantic breeze that come up there from Kinvara, just to cut the lips off you. I got a card from the brother in New York there at the Christmas. That's a place I'd love to visit. Just it's amazing to see all them skyscrapers. All built by Irish Eats, of course. More than half the rest of the world.
Look around you, Pat. Sure, they'll never replace the beauty around here. They'll never replace what nature itself has built. You know, I never seen a rainbow like I seen it here. I never seen a walk like the flaggy shore. The land, spitting back the waves and protecting the swans at the far end.
Jesus, you're getting fierce poetic. I hope you're not smoking any of that old funny stuff. Half the lads around here are on it. I don't know what's going on at all. Well, I was in Ennis last week, and there was young lads walking around, and their trousers were so tight. But sure, they'd have to put their socks on first.
Big hot no, Pat. I'm not smoking any of that funny stuff. I'm afraid, Pat.
You're afraid of what? Shouldn't the Banshee get the bus to Limerick out of here about 4 years ago?
Afraid of staying.
Oh, well, you've come a long way to find that out.
Afraid of what I'll find. The letter said she was very ill.
And she can't be too bad. If she'd have died, I would have heard it.
If there's a funeral, I'll have to meet them all.
Is that what you're afraid of? Isn't it more in your line now to be thinking of your dying mother? And she about to meet her maker, and she pining for the son she hasn't seen for nearly 30 years? Or to be afraid to meet the girl that you left on her own before she threw herself at that fecker Houlihan? If you've come looking for sympathy for that bit of selfishness, well, you've come to the wrong place.
Everyone knows.
Harris, sure doesn't everybody know everything about everyone else around here? And if it's bad news, oh, they definitely know. What's the point of coming all this way and not facing up to things and finding some inner peace for yourself? Oh, jeez, do you hear me? Inner peace my backside. You'll be talking the same shite as half the lost souls that come up around here. I don't have time to be talking to you when 12 of the crackdish cattle this side of Clanbridge are on the loose. But sure, they're probably halfway to Gort by now. And Peter Fahey's after laying that new lawn. And if they go in on top of that, well, that lad'll take no hesitation but to put a bullet between their two ears. He's so cracked he still thinks the Civil War's going on. Well, if you're not going to come with me, stay there and let me go and find this herd of buffalo.
Go on, so. I'll stay a while.
Do you remember the summer evenings in Ballylee? Do you remember? I remember hiding the bikes out the back of the cottage. It was falling down then. Sneaking in the back window. I nearly broke my neck. You told me you loved me, Michael. I believed you. Mikey Horn, the handsome boy, the fine hurler with the curly headed black hair. That was a great summer, Mikey. The cycles to Throcht Beach and Coming home by the Moy Road, hiding the bikes behind the wall, and you holding me among the stones of the burn. They're all jealous of me, Mikey. Mary Connors did her best to break us up, but the crash did that. Broke us all up. I wish you could see her, Mikey. Your daughter, Katie. She was crying last week. Mary Hansbury told her at school that Martin Houlihan isn't her real father. That her real father went to America and was killed. She hit Mary a wallop and was sent home from school from it. I told her it wasn't right, but she wouldn't listen. She has your spirit. I wish I had. Oh, I wish you could see her. Oh, she's so beautiful. And she's the voice of an angel. I wish you could hear her sing that song. Our song. When I first met you was in the spring. The air was clear and the birds all sang. We were young and the world was so new. We spent our days in a lover's haze. All our sunsets were ablaze. We thought the world was built for me and you. Throughout the days, throughout the years, through the good times and through the tears, I still love you. I hope you love me too. We're happy with our souvenirs.
Are you still here? Hi, are you still here?
I am. Isn't that obvious?
Oh, jeez, you're getting very smart now, aren't you?
Sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful to you.
Disrespectful? Jeez, no one's ever used that word to me around here. The choir lad. Oh, yeah. Oh, they call me that. One sod short to the reek. Oh, they've called me that. Mad Pat. Oh, they've called me that too. I hear those bitches after Mass on a Sunday. And they be saying, poor Pat. The poor devil. Poor Pat. Isn't he lost? Aye, lost.
How do you mean lost?
Same as you, they'd say. Haven't you gone halfway around the world to come back to where you started and you're still lost? But nothing. Poor Pat. Lost.
I don't understand.
Now, how would you? Haven't I been here in the same spot for the last 40 years and I'm still lost? But nothing. Do you think you're the only one who's ever fallen in love? You think that I never fell in love? I fell in love. The most beautiful girl that you ever saw. Madge Geraghty from Fenor. I know what it's like. These mountains around us were bathed in sunshine and long summer days. Of the evenings that stretched out into the dusk. We kissed as the sun set in the bay there in front of you.
And what happened?
My sister Annie, she went to America. My brother Peter, he joined the priesthood. God help him. I was left here with my aged mother. Sure, what woman to move into a situation like that? Oh, I pleaded with her. I pleaded with my Madge, but she was right. This was no place for the three of us, so she headed for Australia.
I'm sorry.
That was 20 years ago. 20 years left here, trapped. And lost to the world that I should have known. And locked in a prison. Bitter sweet hate.
I'm sorry.
Oh, God forgive me, my mother died 2 years ago. And I felt free for the first time in 20 years. But those 20 years are lost. My life is lost with them.
I'm sorry.
Will you stop saying that?
I'm sorry. Sorry for my selfishness. I don't know what I'm saying. I suppose I'm not the only one who's lost so.
No. You, me and 12 cattle. Not to mention Delia Lennon. Sure, maybe we're all feckin' lost. Maybe this is some kind of purgatory. Sure, maybe we're not here at all. Or maybe it's some kind of parallel universe. And we'll all find ourselves one of these days.
Well, now who's talking bullshit?
Cow shit. All the way up the road there to Delia Lennon's.
Well, you know, maybe 'tis a sign like Hansel and Gretel and the breadcrumbs.
But we all know where that ended up. With the Wicked Witch.
Now, I suppose I better be going. It'll be dark in a few hours.
It's dark for the last 20 years.
What about the cattle?
What about them? Sure, they're probably half the flowers in Turnevenip by now.
We'll give one last look before I go.
It'll be your first.
I know, but God knows where they'll be by morning.
Actually, there's no point in looking now. They'll be somewhere in the morning. But sure, they've hardly left the country.
True. Oh, yes. Well, I'm sorry if I caused you any trouble.
It wasn't you that drove them out on the road, was it? Here, is it not time that you were on your way?
Whatever way.
Are you not going to Gort? Well, geez, you're hardly going back to Shannon at this hour. Is it not time that you faced up to things?
I don't know. There's a flight to Gatwick at 10:30.
Jeez, will you make up your mind? You can't eat porridge and whistle at the same time.
Thank you.
Thank me for what?
For the advice. For listening.
I should be listening to my own advice a bit more often. I was thinking.
Yes, then.
Maybe I should open a meditation centre. There's plenty of idiots coming up here looking for this and that. Maybe if I did up a bit of the house and called myself the burden guru. Jeez, they come flocking for €100 for half an hour of sense. Well, my sense anyway.
Do you know it might work?
Why wouldn't it? Shouldn't the lads up the road making perfume? You got burn chocolate and burn yoga, burn this and burn that. Sure, wouldn't I be the right lad now to set up a mindfulness festival? We get the grant from Joe Byrne. Jeez, we'd stick it in there in the summer now between the Willie Clancy in Milltown and Lishtun Varn in September.
Jeez, I'm sure they'll flock to you. What are you going to do now?
Would you have to ask me that?
No. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry for shouting at you.
We're a queer pair.
None queerer. Go on, you better be on your way.
Well, I hope things work out for you.
There's something will turn up.
Pat Fury, you're nothing but a bloody blackguard. Them cattle of yours have half me on it. If you don't come up here and get rid of them, I'll see that you get 2 months in jail.
The Lord works in mysterious ways. I come in now, darling. Me own sweetheart. Never look the gift cow in the mouth. Safe trip now, and God bless you.
Well, I've been all over this wide world when I didn't have a care. I saw the hills of Appalachia and a Rocky Mountain bear. Down under I sang my songs far from the hills of Clare. There's only one place that I love, won't you take me there? I'm coming home, I'm coming home to be with you. I'm coming home to see your smile and to take your hand and to walk with you through the barren land. I remember those Kinbarren nights on the boats in Galway Bay, and the falling leaves in Cool Park down Kiltartan Way. The sacred tower at Kilmacdoon, where we stopped to pray. And by the silver stream in Ballylee, we'd read his poems all day. I'm coming home, I'm coming home to be with you. I'm coming home to see your smile and to take your hand and to walk with you through the barren land. Well, maybe it's just a dream, 'cause I'm so far from there. 3,000 miles between us and Gord's Market Square. It's 30 years since I've seen the lovely Oppy Hills, but the sunset over Mullaghmore I remember still. I'm coming home, I'm coming home to be with you. I'm coming home to see your smile and to take your hand and to walk with you through the barren land and to walk with you through the barren land and to walk with you through the barren land.